Hello guys, today I'll be teaching us, you guys, specificity. So what specificity in CSS means is the order of importance or precedence. Like I told you, CSS is cascading style sheet. So the computer starts from top to bottom to read your code. So that top to bottom is already showing you that the one coming like from the top, the any code coming from next is more important than the one on top. So if you have two different types, two the same styling, computer will remove the one on top and update itself with the new one that it sees that relates with the other one. So I'll be explaining this, and we also have different ways that specificity can come in. So I'll be teaching the first one, which is the CSS type specificity. So CSS has three different types. We have the inline CSS using our style attributes, and we have the internal using our style elements. Then we'll style call the body and give it styling, and we have our external style sheets, which is our external CSS. So the internal CSS is the most specific one, like the one that's most important. Computer reads this as the most important. So any styling I should give here will automatically change anyone I give it in the style sheet. If I should give this text. So let's be looking at this p tag. Let's go to our style. I gave section P red color, but I'll come here in the inline and give it style of color. Style color of, let's give it lemon. So as you can see, our color here is red. Our color here is red, as you can see. Once I refresh, this red color will change to that lemon color. So refresh, as you can see, is more specific. I did not change and I did not remove anything. Yeah, because the red is still here, I did not remove anything. So the inline is more specific. It overrides like any other one again, be it inside the style sheet outside or inside the internal. So you can practice and check and test whether this my theory is correct. So you can come here again and still copy this. I'll copy this and paste. And I'll give it color of blue. And not blue, let's give it color of this. I refresh, the lemon still works, showing that the highest specificity is the inline. But if the inline is not there, the internal is available here. That means the internal becomes the most specific one. The internal becomes the most specific one. So I have color of this biscuits here. So if I should come and refresh, this lemon change to biscuit instead of red. As you can see, it has this color of biscuit. But if the internal is not available, the same will work, the external will work as the main one. So that's the specificity, the order of precedence, the most important ones, the order of importance in CSS for the CSS style type. So our next specificity type will be on the normal styling sheet. So this rule now I'm about to give can either work here or it can work here, because both of them basically use the same syntax. So another thing I want to say is that if you want to put your style tag, you put it outside your body. As you can see, we have our head. After our head, we have our style. After our style, we now have the body. So you put it and you use the same syntax you use in your style, your CSS, and you use it same syntax here. So we have another type of CSS specificity, and this falls in the sheet on the style sheet you're using. So as you can see, we have different ways of calling out an element. So these different ways have its own specificity. As you can see, the ID has specificity of 100. So this ID is one of the most, let's say the highest, one of the highest specificity we have. But we can still make it more, like can make it higher. So I'll be starting with the first, the highest, one of the highest. Let me just put it the highest. We have the highest as the important specificity. So if I should come to an element, let's say I'll be using the p tag because almost all we have like 3 p tags. So I'll be using a general p tag. I want to give all the whole p tags here color of red. What I'll actually just do is I'll come to here and call the p, then I'll now give it color of red. Then if I want to add that important to make computer know that this is the most important and change its specificity to the highest, I'll put exclamation mark and put important. So computer takes this as the highest important stuff. So all the whole p tags will be colored red. So let's refresh. As you can see, we have here red, we have here red. So let's go to our style. As you can see here, this is red, this is red. So if I should come here, let's test something. So if I should come here and give it style and give it color of blue, so I was testing whether these bars will still turn back to blue. Maybe we should put it. So as you can see, the bars didn't turn back to blue because that importance is the highest, even in the case of inline being the most and the most and the highest, like specific, the importance is the highest. You override any other. As far as the importance is there, it must surely work. There's no two ways about it. So that's the highest. Coming to the sheet one and also the style sheet type. So the next is the ID. The ID is the highest and it has specificity of 100. So ID having specificity of 100 makes it one of the highest, one of the highest. So we can, yeah, which one has yellow? We have the ID of yellow. I'll still remove. I just want to create a new element and explain this. So I'm using let's say nav tag as an element. I'll put some text. So we'll be using color here basically. Then I have another nav. I'll put another color. Let's call this div. So let's go and refresh. As you can see, we have our nav here and our div here at the bottom. So I want to explain this ID as the second most specific, like one of the second most specific. So the highest we have is the ID. Second to the highest we now come to the inline. Then third to the highest is internal. Then fourth to the highest is ID. So I'm explaining ID. So ID selector, we have to have our hashtag then the ID name. So we'll be giving this nav an ID of just nav. I'll just call it nav. Calling out nav Then I give it color of aqua. Yes, it comes out as color of aqua, but this doesn't explain how specific or how high it is. Well, let's just call out the normal nav tag. Let this not confuse it. This is a normal nav element. This is an ID of nav, so depends on what you write. So I'll give some. I'll give the nav color of Glorywood. I refresh. It does not work. As you can see, the ID is higher than the element. So this is evidence that the ID is higher than the element. So there's another way to make this ID much more specific. If I should copy this, I can add the name of the element. So I'll put the name of the element nav. So once I should put, mind you, to do this, this ID must be the ID of that element for it to work. If not, you will not get it right. So as you can see, if I hover on this, computer is looking for an element with the ID of nav. As you can see, that's not like too specific. But if I hover on this, computer is looking for a nav element with the ID of nav, making it much more specific. Telling computer that you're looking for a particular nav element with the ID of nav, making it more specific than just an element with the ID of nav. See, that one not specific. If it has this, it will be like where are all the whole nav elements with the, then start looking for all the whole IDs. But if you write an element with the ID of nav, just look for search all the whole elements and look for ID of nav and find it. So that's that. So if I should change the styling of this and change it to blue, so I'm moving this on top so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'm moving it on top, even though it's here, it's still more specific than this one. Even though it's here, it's still more specific than this one. So I'll go and refresh. As you can see, it has blue color. So because of this, the other specificity is very high. So we have the next most specific one, which is now the class selector, the element selector, and the universal selector. So basically, the class selector should be, let's say, 10. The nav was 100, and the class should be 10. Yeah, class should be 10. So I'll give this one class of 10. Class. Now I will give it a class of class. I mean, not a class of 10. A class of class. So I'll give it a color of green. As you can see, the color here is green. Color here is green. You can still call out the div and give it color of this, but it will not still work, just to ensure that what you are writing is true. As you can see, the color is still green. So that's that. We have the element selector, which is the lowest. As you can see, it's always the lowest, and we have the universal selector. So the universal selector is the asterisk that I talked about, this asterisk. So it's more like the lowest in specificity. So let's go over and see its amount. As you can see, the specificity is 0. All elements, you can see this one is 1, class is 10 here. So the class is 10. So this one, why is higher than this in specificity? As you can see, this one is 101, while this normal ID selector is 100. So this nav has this navigation element, this nav element here has the ID of 1 and this hashtag nav has ID of 100, but putting both of them together makes it an ID of 101. So I combine both of them together, make it an ID. If I separate them, it will basically mean a nav element with the child of with an ID of this, as you can see, child nav element with ID of this, as you can see. But if you should put them together, it becomes this. So you can write your code like that to be readable, so you're not making such mistakes. Yeah. So let me go to that our app so we can see what it has to say about it. So basically I've just said everything. Nothing much to add. Yeah, our inline CSS, why is very very higher than others, because of it has specificity of 1,000. We have a specificity of 1,000. That's why like more specific than the other ones. But I don't know about that importance. I don't know how many specificity it has, because that's like the highest one. So we have other selectors like the pseudo class selector and all that, but we'll treating that later. So there's nothing I want to talk about. I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it again. So another way specificity can come in play here is when we have two the same color as to the same property style. So I'll be creating a p tag, and no, not a p tag. Let's use a code tag. So I'll just put in some text here, and I'll be calling out the code elements to specify this. So I'll just call it code. Then I'll give it a color of purple. So the code element to be like the last text on the page and to be purple color. So as you can see, the last text on the page is purple color. So cascading comes in play in this specificity. An element with an element with the same specificity as another element calling it. So if I should call this code 2 times, I should call the code again and give it another color. Let's say color of green. Cascading specificity will come in play because of this code is already a new an updated version of this code. Computer take it as an updated version of this code, making this computer to override this one and display this. This is what that cascading does. It comes from up to computer reads code from up to down. As it's reading, it reads code. As it's reading, it reads code. Okay, yeah, color purple, and it starts going down. And see green code, color green. It override this one and take this as the new one. So that's what cascading specificity does. So if I should refresh, as you can see, our color now is green. It's still the same thing. If I should put this color here. Computer also reads the code and sees color is purple. Yeah, it take purple. Then it comes and see color again is green. Still take green as the color. If I should refresh, it's still green. So that's that. Then I want to talk about CSS comments. Just like HTML comments, CSS comments is just used to describe your and add more description to your code. It helps you describe, like, let's say you want to do a particular group of styling for these particular elements, and you want to you don't want to come and start looking for it because the code might not look bulky and field of codes you your eyesight cannot even explain it. Comment to help you to you know detect them because they are just with unique color, just like this. I can just come and write that this is for this. I'll now come here and I'll say maybe say this one will now be for the footer. As you can see, I can just come and easily detect them and know because of this comment. So you can also comment a styling. So what you basically just do is put your forward slash, you put your asterisk at the beginning of that styling, then you now come to the end, you put an asterisk again, then you now put your forward slash again. As you can see, I've automatically commented this code. You can see it, I've automatically commented on this code. So it makes this code not to work. So if you want to make like a styling not to work temporarily, so that maybe if you want to now put it back, instead of you deleting and putting it back, you can just comment on it. Then after you just simply remove this and it's back. So you can do this, you can be practicing this to help. You can also comment on a larger scale one that just coming at the end and putting this, then come at the beginning and put this, but you have to remove this one. So automatically you have commented on this OP tag code and it will not work. So that's that for commenting. So you can actually use the comment shortcut I taught in the HTML to achieve this. So to achieve this with the HTML comment, you come to the particular line you want to comment on, you hold your control button and click on the forward slash button and it comments automatically. Use Ctrl Z to go back. Then want to comment a whole block of code, you can come and hold your control button and forward slash and click. As you can see, comments, click on it again to comment. So that's that for comments. We can actually do some practical, so I'll see whether the comment is going to work. So I'll be copying this whole code and using my shortcut, and I've commented on it. As you can see, not temporarily not working. If I refresh, the color of the text is back to black. As you can see, it's back to black. Once I should remove them, as you can see, once I should remove them, it goes and it's back to green. So that's that for HTML specificity, CSS specificity and CSS comments.